Hey, this is Tara Platt.
And Yuri Lowenthal.
And you're listening
to Nerd Radio.
Back with more Nerd Radio, wherever you get your podcast, as part of the B-Pod Studios Network and on social media at Nerd Radio 101. Chuck Bean hanging out in the Checkpoint XP Studios with Al Beck.
Oh, yes.
Say make a noise, Al, so people know what your voice sounds like.
Yes, I'm here.
And James.
Can I make a noise too?
Make a noise so people know what your voice sounds like, James. Yeah, that's
that's a noise, right?
That's a fair. I said a noise. I didn't specify what kind of noise, so
was it a bodily function?
It could have been worse. We're talking about the new Xbox and PlayStation, which is coming out in just a couple of months here, and I'm sure you guys have seen, as I have seen on the news, that apparently the pre-orders for the Xbox went up last week and the PlayStation just a couple of days ago, and both of them were just a nightmare.
Complete disasters, yeah. Between bots grabbing them to scam people and sell on eBay. And
right. I know that me and Al are out of the game as far as like we're going to wait till next year anyways. But did you try and get one, James?
No. I'll sit it out and wait. I mean, if Checkpoint XP peeps were like, hey, we could really use this to help the show, I'd be like, well, let me finance it on my credit card. And
Right.
But we got to make some killer content with these guys.
Yeah. No, I wait until they stop catching fire, which always seems to happen.
Yes. That's always, especially with an Xbox system, it's always really good to wait a couple of months just to make sure that the thing's not going to catch your house on fire. Mm-hmm. But when I was at my third job last week, I drove by a GameStop on Thursday morning, and there was like a half a dozen nerds out
waiting in line
out in front of GameStop. No, waiting to do their pre-orders. Waiting to do their Xbox pre-orders.
Wow.
So
did it in person, huh?
Yeah. But speaking of Mario, we were talking last week about Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which came out last week.
Did you get your copy?
I did.
Good for you.
I did. What about you, James?
I got a copy. Yeah, I haven't opened it and played it yet. I played a little bit of the new WWE game.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to get into it later after we record the show.
I do have to ask real quick, is the new WWE game better than the last one?
Oh, my God, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I did want to hear about that, so let's get into that right now.
We're talking about right now? Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. Like exactly what I said, NBA Jam, but a wrestling game.
Yep.
And I think that's exactly what it is. It's so much easier to figure out and play. Some of the characters might not look exactly like the wrestlers.
Yeah, well, they're supposed to look like cartoons.
Yeah, but they're definitely caricatures of the actual wrestlers. But I think it's fun. It's easy to figure out. It's not too complicated, and the match is quick. Like, I don't know. We're playing through the first little part of like the campaign or the story.
Yeah.
So everybody we're fighting is like super easy. But I mean, so far the combos are like punch, punch, punch is like 3-punch combo.
Okay.
Like it's real easy like to get combos in and do special moves.
So they leaned real hard into like the fighting game genre with this one, where instead of going simulation, like I mean you could see that with it graphically, but as far as the gameplay, it's kind of easy to
it's so easy
out.
to figure out. And as like you're doing stuff, like the controls of what you have options to will pop right up on your screen. Mm-hmm. So if like you're trying to do this or that, you hit that button and then it does it. Like it kind of lets you know what you need to do until you get acclimated to the controls.
Right.
So, but I'm playing it on the Switch, so if you do have the Switch, you need that controller where you slide your little Joy-Cons into.
Okay.
So you need that controller to make you feel like you got a big boy system controller.
I'll take the sides off the Switch, and then I'll just like sit like this and just play with them. I've got the right in my hand, or I'll just put my arms down at my sides.
Wow.
Because they're remotes, so it's just like I got the right side of the controller here and the left side of the controller here, and I don't have to do this.
Okay.
I can just. Yeah,
you got to play a Chuck style.
I could just be lazy.
Yeah. Man, it's like the gamer's version of like playing the guitar with your teeth and swinging it around your body.
Yeah. Man, he just made me look like a bitch. He's like, James, you need to buy that controller and hold the joysticks.
Meanwhile, Chuck's laying upside down on the couch.
Just whatever.
He's like he's inverted. He's hanging from the ceiling.
I'm Spider-Manning from the ceiling.
He's got a blindfold on too. You know. High score.
Yeah,
I could sense the high score was coming.
Yeah, it's like lesson 1 of Jedi training with the blast shield down.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's all Tetris 99.
Chuck's the chosen one.
So is there a create a wrestler mode?
Yeah, you can create a wrestler, and I think you can even create a ring.
Because I saw you could unlock parts for stuff, so I thought that was where that was headed.
As you go through the campaign, you beat up some mojo, you get an unlock. Oh, you got $750 to go spend in the store to go unlock other wrestlers.
Right,
so.
And that was what we talked about last week, is that as you play, it gives you bucks that you can buy other wrestlers and parts and whatnot, and they're going to release.
So hopefully the game, I hope it takes off. You can connect online and play against people. So I'm looking forward to hopefully
trying it out online.
Yeah. Anybody wants to take me on in WWE 2k Battlegrounds, let me know. We'll set it up.
Yeah.
But I got to get some time in so at least I know I stand a chance.
Right.
You know, I'm not just going to pick it up and play you tomorrow and then you're just like, you suck, James. You got, I got like 20 minutes of gameplay in. So back off.
Right. Yeah, speaking of the WWE too, you got to spend some time in the Thunderdome.
Yeah,
on Monday.
I got in the Thunderdome. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So when you get into the Thunderdome, and I want to let everybody know who might be trying to get into the Thunderdome to be part of the virtual audience, do not give up on like the first click of the link to get you into the show. So essentially, what happens is you have to sign up to say, "Hey WWE, I want to be in the Thunderdome.
Right.
Pick me." And then if you get to that point, they'll send you an email, and they'll tell you a special time to sign up for that. So you got to hit that link at that right time and get signed up, and then they'll send you an email saying you're signed up. They'll send you an email the day of the show. The day the show rolls around, and they're like, here's your email. Your call time is this time. So that's the time you need to show up to click your link to get into the Thunderdome virtual audience.
Right.
They tell you on there, like, click it one time. It's your link. Don't share it. This is for you. It's only you. And it's good one time only. So keep that in mind. So then you wait till your call time. And like for me, I waited to the exact second. I'm like watching. My call time this week was 9:45. So I'm like, okay, 9:45 and 1 second. I'm going to click this link.
So you didn't get to log in until like the show was almost half over.
Yeah.
9:45.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I think they rotate through.
They rotate and
cycles
stagger
of
people through. Interesting.
And I think they record matches out of order during the Thunderdome virtual audience than what they air on TV too.
Huh.
So,
Interesting.
And I'll explain that why.
Okay.
I'll explain why I know that. So anyways, 9:45 and 1 second. I click the link. It pops up. It tests your browser. Sorry, we're full. Dang. Man,
Right.
I missed it. I missed it again. And at this point, I'm like, if I don't get in this time, I'm done with this Thunderdome.
Right.
Like, it's 9:45. It's already. I'm usually passed out on the couch right about now. Anyways, like asleep, and I'm wide awake. But somebody had told me, try it again. Click that link again and see if you can get in. So I was like, I'm gonna try it one more time. So I click the link. Screen pops up again, but instead of it saying like we're full, it's like testing your browser, testing your browser, testing
Right.
your browser, and then it just kept doing testing your browser. So I'm like, what gives? Is it like, do they realize I clicked the link twice? I don't know. Close it down, click the link one more time, pops up, testing your browser, and then a little button pops up and says click to enter. I'm like, I think I'm in.
Yeah.
So I click it, and then it pops up, and it's like you're watching what you would watch on TV.
Okay.
It's on whatever device you're using, but then in the bottom left corner, there's a little box that shows what your camera is showing.
Okay.
And there's like a little outline of where you should put your head and shoulders to kind of put yourself right here in the box.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're hearing the show, but all you're hearing is commentary and sound effects. You don't hear the crowd noise. You don't hear any of that stuff.
Interesting.
And you're on about, you can tell like whatever, because we use Sling for our cable.
Yeah.
So we're on a bit more of a delay than people who have actual cable. So there's like almost a 60-second delay from what you're seeing. What I'm seeing on my computer screen is happening like a minute after on TV.
Oh, okay.
And what would happen is, so a wrestler is coming out, and you hear a voice come out of the computer. All right, everybody, it's Seth Rollins, your Monday Night Messiah. Let us know what you think of Seth Rollins. Cheer or boo, you know.
Interesting.
So then I'm like, boo! I mean, I like Seth Rollins, but I don't like his Monday Night Messiah character. But I'm like, boo! You know, so they're getting everybody hyped up. And then I think they're taking some of the crowd cheers that's being picked up by your mics, and they're filtering that into the stream that's going on to cable.
Wow.
And then during commercial breaks, like Angel Garza came up on the screen, and you could tell he's like somewhere backstage, maybe in Gorilla. And he's like, hola, hello to all the beautiful ladies out there. Oh, so many beautiful ladies. So then I'm like, boo! I'm like, what about the hot dudes? Boo! And then he's just like thanking you for being a part of the Thunderdome audience.
Interesting.
And, you know, make sure you watch the pay-per-view Clash of the Champions this Sunday when I take on whoever I'm taking on with Andrade to, you know, win the belts. I think was it Private Party? Or no? Street Profits.
No, Street Profits.
I got those two, the two hip-hop.
Yep. There's one that's at AEW, the other's on Monday Night Raw, but they're they're easily mixed up.
Yeah, but so it was cool. And then I don't know if I got up to get snacks during a commercial, and when I came back, the screen was like, "Thanks for being a part of it." So I was like, "Did they see an empty screen? So then they
just
booted
kick
me,
ya? Right?
Or was my time over?" So I was kind of bummed out.
Huh?
But Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler tag teamed against was it Natalia and Lana.
Yep.
So they played that match almost at the very, very end of Raw this week. It was like almost the second to last match.
It was in the third hour.
I saw that entire match on my laptop before I got kicked off.
Really?
Yeah. So
I wonder if that outline has something to do with you getting kicked off.
Like if I'm not in it enough.
Like if you're not in the outline, they're like, there's no one there.
Yeah,
and like the computer just recognizes it and boots you.
Yeah, that could be it, but I'm sorry. It's like 10 o'clock. I need snacks. But I got booted off. I got booted off around 10:30. So I'm like, that's technically 45 minutes of Thunderdome time,
Right.
So I was like, maybe that's the allotted time because they're bringing new people in.
It's fascinating that they cycle through so many people. I thought they just moved people around.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you were in the back, row during one match, then they would move you to the front row at some point during
everybody
the night.
A little bit of TV time or whatever.
Right.
But so seeing the Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax tag team match on the computer, and then it not coming up on the TV until way later.
Right. I
was like so confused. So who knows? And maybe that was just the end of the audience. They didn't need any more audience members or anything.
Huh.
So it was interesting. It was fun. If I got the email to be a part of it again, I would.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's a cool way to kind of interact in a way that you can't interact with WWE anymore because you can't go to any live shows.
Yeah.
I pulled up the network the other night because I couldn't sleep, and I was watching an older a show from like this year's Royal Rumble when they could still have a live crowd, and it feels so weird after like 6 or 7 months of watching no crowds in wrestling
to nobody to a bunch of monitors
to watch an entire arena full of people at a WWE event. Like that's how it was 6 or 7 months ago, and all through history. But having lived through 2020, it feels really weird to see it now.
Yeah, and I think it depends on how they try to deal with that missing audience. Because I've been watching the football games and stuff, and they just pipe in fake crowd noise.
Football games are the weirdest.
It's so weird.
The crowd.
Yeah, it's so weird because even from camera angles, sometimes it looks like there's people there.
Because they will actually put crowd the CGI crowd members in there from certain angles,
right?
Yeah, and then you see that same area from a different angle,
and it's and there's
nobody.
Yeah, but just from watching the Lions, I know that their week 1 game, the audio guy was way off on the mix, and he was burying the commentators with crowd music. It sounded terrible. And the other thing is, I don't think the commentators necessarily have the crowd noise in their ear.
No, probably not.
Because normally if the crowd's up and they'll talk over it, and they're like, this 4th and 3, and they're going
but the crowd is feeling the heat.
And their energy will go with the crowd, but instead it's 4th and 3, and the crowd's like, no! Just talking normal. And but I brought up because Conan, on the other hand, I've been watching Conan, and Conan's I don't have an audience, so I'm not going to pretend like there is one there.
Sure.
And so he does jokes that just falls on nothing. And even still, it's uncomfortable to watch, but I appreciate the authenticity of it.
Well, he's one of those comedians too that loves to bomb, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's thriving right now in no audience that he can tell any joke, and it's going to be just as good or bad as any other joke he tells.
But he's also done a thing too where his hair is iconic. That swooping hairstyle of his, and at first he couldn't get a haircut. But he's decided that I'm just going to let this thing ride. His hair is still shaggy as hell right now.
I haven't seen Conan.
He hasn't cut his hair since the pandemic started.
Oh my goodness.
And it's crazy. But I'm a big fan of his. And I love the authenticity that you get with it. But like I said, it really is. It's uncomfortable to watch. He doesn't look like himself because of the hair.
Right.
There's no audience, except he does have Andy Richter. He's now filming it at the Largo Comedy Club instead of just at the Largo Theater. Instead of his house. He started at his house. Yeah. But now he's doing it at Largo, and it's cardboard cutouts of fans, and Andy Richter sitting in one of the seats. The entire audience.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
speaking of football, Jay Moore in the chat saying, did you hear about the Chargers quarterback? The team doctor administered some pain-killing injection to his cracked ribs and accidentally punctured a lung.
Oh, I did not hear that. Oh, my God.
Sounds like you need to get yourself a new doctor.
Yeah. We're doing a thing over on, while we're talking about football, we're doing a thing over on WRIF.com. Our Riff Pick'em League. I am tied for first.
Are you?
Are you?
Are you going with the mascot? You picking by the mascots?
Either the mascot or the team colors, or just I pick Philadelphia every week because I love this. It's Always Sunny.
That's funny.
That's funny thing is I like football and I do watch it, but I pretty much only watch the Lions, and so I've been doing the Pick'em League as well, and it's like based on nothing. I'm just like,
Well, they asked me to be a part of it. I was like, dude, I mean, I can if you need somebody. I'd rather not, but if I do, I'm just picking it by whose mascot I think would whoop the other mascot's ass.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Ken was like, "That's I think what Chuck's doing."
That's
I'm like,
right.
Well, then you already got somebody.
Yeah, I'm tied with Ann Erickson and Jason.
Wow.
Right now,
look at you.
so
How crazy would it be if Chuck wins?
I came out hard in the first week, and I was on top by like 2 points.
On top.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
That's
I'm
how Chuck
buried
likes
because
it.
I didn't even participate in the first week, so.
Right. Yeah. So you're starting at a deficit already.
Yeah, I haven't updated it yet for week 3, so I
need to.
So
get
Al's
on that
coming
tonight.
up soft on the bottom.
He's coming up soft in the bottom. I came out hard on top.
There's a duality in your radio right there. And
Ah,
I'm creamy in the middle.
Yeah. It's like an
Yeah.
Oreo cookie.
Yes.
A very, very disgusting Oreo cookie.
Yin and Wang.
Yin and Wang, I like it. Yes.
Now we're just throwing out stuff for trying to get the title.
Yeah.
So when I listen back to this, I'm going to be,
Yeah.
it's going to be that. Nope, it's going to be this. This is funnier.
It's the title pitch show. Which
Right.
was another pitch right there.
All right, let's take a short break. We're coming back. There's a whole bunch of streaming stuff to talk about, and we'll get to that and kind of wrap up this week's Nerd Radio. So stay tuned.